Okay, before it's already an hour and a half, I'll just quickly do this was a request. I posted a video on the different idols who actually put up their own management companies, and many of them has actually failed. Many of them failed miserably. Some of them are barely surviving. So I don't know if you know Kang Daniel, but he's one of the most popular soloists in South Korea. For a while, I thought he was going to be the male IU in terms of popularity. I thought he's headed towards that direction. He was also the ex-boyfriend of my my bias in Twice, which is Gio. I thought they were a cute couple. And I also like, I did not pry about it. I just read it because they kind of sort of went public about it. So I was like, oh, they're a cute couple. Okay. So Kang Daniel actually put up his own company. And then, to everybody's surprise, after 3 years, he filed a police report suing the majority shareholder of his agency, Connect Entertainment. And as everyone was so shocked, Pinayon say, I did not know he dated Gio. Yeah, he did. I was like, they were such a cute couple. That's why I was like, oh, I hope they end up together. Anyway, but I was more concerned about Gio, as I've said, because Twice is my favorite girl group member, and she's my bias in Twice. So everyone was so shocked that he filed the police report, sued the company, and then this freaking company. What happened was the majority shareholder cheated him of 14 million, I think 14 or 40 million. So he lost, like, the majority shareholder sort of spent 40 million of his of the money of the company, and he was the sole. No, there were other artists, but he was the biggest artist in that company. And then he also, the majority shareholder, actually managed to get in his personal bank account and spend $14 million of his money. That's how bad it went. So it's like, what happened? Everyone was praising him for going his own way and not signing up for any other agency and just putting up his own. Because, like, you need, everyone is all about giving the artist power over his own music and his own creatives. And then this happened, right? And then you have Yolin. She still has her agency, so she did not renew with Sista. That's another favorite of mine, just because they are great vocalists. So there were four members in Sista, and they all decided not to renew their contract with Starship, and she put up her own agency. And when she decided to do that, she still is in good terms with all of her members and with Starship. It's just that she said she really wants to test her, like, just do her own thing and be able to perform the way she wants to perform, release music that she wants to release. And then in one interview, she actually said that it hasn't been very, very profitable for her. And primarily, it was like everything that she's earning, she's just using to pay her employees. And even worse is that everything that she has saved and earned from her days on in Sesta, when it was still her and the other three girls, is all gone. The money is all gone because she makes it a point to pay all of her employees on time. Okay. So this is a former member of Winner. Now he has a different story. I think he had a Nam Taeyun is the name. He had a conflict with YG Entertainment, and he left YG Entertainment. Creative differences. He decided to put up his own band and his own company, South Beach, something like that, and South Border something. But it was a band. And he said that, just like, it's the same story as Yolin, although it's a little worse. So he spent all of his money, everything that he's earned from YG, from his days in Winner, he spent all of that to maintain the company. And he's also now in debt. He's like $650,000 in debt or something like that. He's deep in debt, all because he's spending for everything. So whenever they go, if they have a gig, he needs to hire the van, makeup artists, managers, the instruments, transportation, gas, everything. He needs to pay for all of that. So they also have a PR person. He pays for all of that. So he said it's all gone. Like he is in debt. Yunmi Ray and Tiger JK. Do you remember these two people? They collaborated first. Tiger JK collaborated with RM, and then Yunmi Ray actually collaborated with J Hope. So they are pioneers of hip hop in South Korea. And their former manager, so the person, they put up their own agency, and but they took somebody to be the CEO so that they can concentrate on the creative side of it. And the CEO ran away with their money, $41 million. So they were like, they didn't know, like they had, so there was a time when they were so hot, like it was just all about hip hop hip hop artists in Korea. And but their manager kept on telling them, oh, we don't have money. So they just kept on taking in work, and they just, and then one day they just decided, okay, I'm going to look into this because it's so suspicious that we almost don't have a law and we're still in debt. And that's when they discovered that the CEO that they hired was actually spending the money. And then worse, they were, I think, like his father died, and it was during that time when they had to go through auditing. He couldn't do it because he had to attend to his father, so they couldn't get anything back, in other words. But it was awful, like 14 million. But I think they have recovered, or at least they are recovering. But it was, they're such good people. Their former agency used to manage Hisang, which is one of my favorite Korean hip hop group. Well, they're a duo, Gary and Gil. And even Gary and Gil said that they're such nice people that they would actually take only 25% of their share, and the rest goes to the artist. So they're very much for the artist, and this happened to them. So one thing people don't understand is that if you're going to put up your own company, and this, let's just say there's an existing company already and you're just expanding to the US, for example, the expenses, the amount of money it's going to take to actually get that to work is a lot. For example, a PR company. So when you expand to the US, and this is the thing that Lisa, um, what's it, Jenny, don't remember their names, Lisa and Jenny, and even Rose, this is what they're doing. They're expanding to the US. So they have an existing company and they're just expanding to the US. They definitely need a publicist. And a publicist is probably going to cost you, just for a retainer, 10,000 to 40,000 a month, especially if you're like, for the level of of relationships that they want to establish. They want to get someone really good, and that's at the minimum 10,000 a month. 10,000 is like, that's like small, like for small names. And if you're a Rose or a Jenny, you're probably going to go with like 40,000 a month. Putting up a press junket, that's already anywhere between 20,000 and 200,000. The bigger the press junket, the more expensive it is. The press junket is when the artist actually sits down for an interview, and then all the reporters come in. They have like 3 minutes or 5 minutes to ask you questions. That's a press junket. Okay. Because you need to pay for the hotel, for camera, security, permits, get in touch with all of these reporters, give them gifts and all of that. So that's easy, easy 20,000. Okay. And then there's, you need to pay for a retainer for a law firm, or hire a lawyer. If you're paying a retainer, a lawyer, and you're paying a retainer, 5,000 is really a steal. Usually lawyers work on billable hours, and their rate is like 200, 300, 500 per hour. That's how expensive they are. So if they're going to review a contract for you, for example, if you have a show and there is an agreement, or you have a brand deal and there is an agreement, you do need to send that to a lawyer for the lawyer to review. And if it takes the lawyer 3 hours to review, then you're going to have to pay. And the rate of the lawyer is, let's just say, 200 per hour. Then you're going to have to pay the lawyer $600 just for reviewing. If you call that lawyer and you speak for 30 minutes, if his rate is 200, then you pay that lawyer 100. It is expensive. Okay. And then you have you need to hire a money manager, especially if you're already earning a lot. One of the most popular business managers in the US that is being used by many celebrities is Altman and Greenfield and Selvagi LLP. So it is a law firm. They have lawyers within there, but their specialty is actually managing the money of their clients. You have to read an article. They gave an interview, and they talked about like some of the biggest problems of celebrities when it comes to money management. They said that it's usually overspending. Like artists aren't aware of how much money they actually have. They think that if their album gets to number one, or their song gets to number one of Billboard Hot 100, that they're already like swimming in money. That's not the case. So usually that's their biggest problem. It's a good article. I'll paste it in the description box once this is uploaded. And then you need an agent. An agent here, or they usually call it the manager in South Korea. The agent is what secures your work. So they look for brand deals, projects, guestings, and they submit songs for syncs. Syncs is when you can actually earn a lot. So that's important because money actually comes from, the biggest sources of money comes from brand deals and concerts. So if they get you a lot of brand deals, then the more money you're going to have. And then they submit songs for syncs. Syncs would be when your song is actually being used for movies, TV shows, commercials, and other things. So each time the music is played, you get paid. So if, for example, BTS, sorry, so you know that Friends was actually used by Eternals, Marvel movie, and it was written by Jimin, produced by Jimin, and performed by Jimin and V. So that's a sync. So someone got their song and put it in a movie. So they get an outright fee, and then each time that movie is viewed, they get a certain amount. That's called royalties or residuals. So that usually, it used to be like that, used to like be really really big. But when it goes into Netflix, so each time that is viewed, you get paid. So usually, like for years, you're going to have a recurring income just because of that. So you do need an agent that will put your songs into consideration for syncs. And they usually coach you on what kind of songs to write in order to enhance your chances of getting a sync. So it has to be simple, heads like there has to be a hook in your song so that the show can just get that hook and use that constantly. Like for those of you who are fans of Friends, the series, like Friends, the sitcom, um, everyone knows that first line, right? Like, no one told me like it's gonna be okay. So that you have like a specific part in your let's dog. So there's a specific part in the song that is a hook that they can actually use. And then for Dawson's Creek, it's that I don't want to wait for my life to be over. So so you always have to have a hook. So they coach you on what kind of song to sing or write and release in order to increase your chances of having a sync. Okay. Luckily, BTS co-owns their music. Correct, they do co-own their music, especially now. Okay. So usually an employer. So if you're an agency, for example, you're an idol and you put your own management company. The truth is that for every employee you have, you spend twice as much of the salary. So if an employee is getting paid 10,000, this is just an example. The employee is actually getting paid, let's just say $100,000 a year. The cost to the employer is actually double that. So I'm paying about 200,000 a year in order to keep one employee who's getting paid 100,000 a year, because there are taxes, insurance, expenses, administrative costs, more taxes, more taxes, more taxes. So and incidentals as well. So it's not cheap. So imagine, for example, if a a company has 10 employees and each employee is getting paid $50,000 a month, or sorry, $50,000 a year, times 10, that's 500,000. You multiply it by 2, that's a million. That would be the money that the company needs to make yearly in order to break even. So, well, not even break even. You need to, because you need to pay taxes, more taxes. So, that is the minimum that you need. You need to earn more from that. So, Lisa, Jenny, Yolin, I think what's his name? Tiger JK has a new label. So all of them, if they have managers, agents, assistants, all of them are getting paid. So you just estimate how much they're getting paid, multiply it by two, and then add probably like 30%. That's what they need to, the cash flow that they need on a yearly basis to maintain it. So art and business rarely mix. A lot of artists don't want to talk about or think about business. Also, there's a lot of evil things, not evil, but a lot of harsh things that you need to do as a business owner if you have your own business that artists don't necessarily like doing. Firing people, I've mentioned to you before, I've had to fire people even if they haven't done anything wrong, simply because I realize I don't need them anymore. And it is hard, especially if the employee is kind and nice and hardworking. But what can you do? Like, you need to fire in order to grow, because you're going to think like, okay, if I fire you, I can invest my money somewhere else. So that a lot of artists don't like, because many artists are actually sensitive, so it doesn't usually mix well. So that those are the reasons many idols or many artists actually don't work as a businessman. You just need a certain kind of sensitivity for you to make it work, and not many don't have it. So that's also why many of these idols actually end up like Kang Daniel, getting cheated off like $14 million of their money because they're not watching their back right. I know that there is a celebrity in the Philippines, or there are Filipinos here. There's a celebrity in the Philippines who got like cheated of like $100 million, right? What's his name? He's also a popular actor and singer, and he used to be like in a love team. And he built, so he put up his own label. It was doing well. He decided to get a partner, and the partner treated him of $100 million or 100 million pesos, or maybe I don't know. But okay, do you have questions? Rosie, I was too far back in the queue, didn't get ticks, but my friend got then. Oh, okay. That's why Suga said that he didn't want to have an agency. He said he didn't want to be responsible for lives of other people. But I think if you James Reed, yeah, that's the name, James Reed. He's a good-looking guy. So somebody cheated him off like his money. I'm going to show you how he looks like. So here, um, he's Filipino good-looking. That's how Filipino good-looking Filipino standard. So as he's a very popular actor. He used to be in like in a love team with another actress, and then I think he went solo or something. I don't follow, but yeah, he's like very good looking. And then he put up his own label, got a partner, and then the partner spent like 100 million of his own money and said young. Okay, so that I think is what one of the brightest and smartest things that Jin actually did is to get a partner for his IGN, for his IGN business, because then he's not shouldering everything on his own. He has a partner who's been in business before, who has an established brand, so he kind of already knows what he's doing. um so I think for Jin it's going to work. And also he has a like his family is into business, as far as we know. We don't know a lot about his family, but if the clues or the rumors are true, then his family's into business. So it's good that he got a partner. I also think keeping it low key. I have a clue. I don't know this for sure. I do have a clue. I have a not a clue, but a guess that many of the other members of BTS are actually into business. Like, I'm sure they have their own businesses. So it's good if they have a partner, because then the partner can actually really do the day to day while they look after their craft. His partner, Eva said his partner from Korea. Yeah, the partner of this guy, James Reed, the one who got cheated like of 18 million of his money. His partner was from Korea.